My name is Lisa Johansson. I'm with GreenCape, the non-profit organization that represents South Africa. I'm just rambling now. Hang on. This is starting.
We're not going to use this.
Hi, Marie. My name is Lisa Johansson. I'm with GreenCape, the non-profit organization based here in South Africa that looks to scale commercially viable climate finance here in South Africa. Again, I'm rambling. Going to calm down in 2 seconds. Alright, so
tell us about your work in market intelligence reports, because that's an important part of your job.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Yeah, of course. So across the group, there is market intelligence reports. GreenCape has a full representation across the green sector. So we are in renewable energy, both at a utility scale side, as well as the embedded generation, electric mobility, and then also in water, sustainable agriculture, circular economy, and waste management, as well as green finance. The important part of that is that we've got a membership of over 3,000 members who we speak to on a regular basis, and because of that, we have deep sector knowledge. This ultimately leads us to be able to build market intelligence reports, which we've just published last month in March 2025. So they are available online and available to anybody looking to find out more about the different sectors and green sectors within the green economy here in South Africa. So I would definitely point people towards those market intelligence reports. It's one of the ways that GreenCape is trying to address any information asymmetry that exists in the market. So the more that people are up to skill and know what's out there and what are the opportunities, the barriers, the gaps, the more that there is going to be more investment flow and job creation into South Africa.
What is some of the good news that is in the latest report and some of the challenges maybe?
Well, certainly that we're anticipating by the year 2030 that there'll be a full 32 gigawatts of renewable energy online. I think some of the work that GreenCape's been involved in, specifically the South African Renewable Energy Master Plan, which was actually put through Parliament in late March, so it is now part of our constitution. That piece of work now really enables a lot of the industrialization of the full scale and value chain of renewable energy. Further to that, we've been involved in a lot of work around facilitating the wheeling opportunity here in South Africa, which obviously opens up from a privatization, or not privatization, but a lot more development with regards to renewable energy. So some really great opportunities that are coming online that we're seeing. Of course, the embedded generation opportunity that's happening, not just around energy security, but also an opportunity for energy price security that we're seeing. But exciting opportunities are not just there, but also in water. We've seen a massive increase in investments here in South Africa with regards to water and adaptation. So hopefully seeing still further numbers climbing with regards to investments in that particular sector.
Where are we still struggling?
Definitely a little bit of help needed within the sustainable agriculture sector. I think that also I always look at trying to say opportunities, but what we're seeing within the waste management sector, landfill costs are just going up. It's extremely expensive to get rid of our waste now. And so what we're seeing is then an opportunity is how do we actually handle that waste in a more responsible manner. So particularly here in Cape Town, what we're seeing is this ban on landfill, so for organic waste, an opportunity therefore for us to really find other ways in order for us to actually manage that waste. And where we're seeing opportunities is black soldier flies, a sort of buzzword, but really a great opportunity here in South Africa to manage and deal with our waste, specifically around organic waste, and a number of different opportunities that exist within that space. So definitely some opportunities there.
During Ages in February, we heard from one of the keynote speakers that only about 18% of climate mitigating projects on the continent are financed by private investors. What is the situation in South Africa?
It's actually really encouraging. I think encouraging is the right word. We actually see the reverse of that here in South Africa. For the most part, we're actually seeing that, first of all, domestically, South Africa is actually financing its own climate finance transition and climate finance work. We've got a 91 domestic representation with a 9% international climate finance flows coming into the country. And then we're also seeing a huge representation from commercial and financial institutions that are actually sort of representing at about 86%. So an interesting converse that's happening with regards to that finance mix. But what it does translate to is that when we do have a fairly strong representation coming out from a debt perspective, so not necessarily a private equity perspective, but debt, where we've got 75% of climate finance flows utilizing debt as an instrument at a cost of debt between 10 to 12%. What that translates to is that climate finance here in South Africa is pretty expensive. So something that we really need to see is a little bit more innovation in the blended finance space, in the how can we sort of start adding these mechanisms and start getting a little bit more creative on how we actually finance our climate finance here in South Africa. An opportunity around guarantees, around that scaling that blended finance that we hear a lot in the market. So a lot of opportunities there.
Speaking of Ages, what was your experience in Feb?
Oh, it's incredibly, being part of it right from the start, absolutely brilliant to see how it's starting to scale, starting to see the momentum, and more importantly, who's in the room now. I think that any event, it's really about who are you pulling into the room and seeing it from that side. So I'm incredibly encouraged to see it's becoming its own landmark event within the climate finance space, green finance space, and super encouraged to see, who's actually in the room, and that's where it's critical because those are where the conversations actually happen.